भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नो अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 6 चैप्टर 2 वर्स 14। सांकेत्यं पारिहास्यं वा स्तोभं हेलनमेव वा वैकुंठनाम ग्रहणम् अशेषाघ हरं विदुः। One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins, even if he chants indirectly. That is Sanketyam. We discussed all this. Jokingly, Parihasyam, Stobam, musical entertainment. Okay. Or even Helanam, neglectfully, or actually even with little slight disrespect. Says. This is accepted by all learned scholars of the scriptures. Okay, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. What type of chanting destroys all sins? This is expressed by showing how even lesser degrees of quality in chanting still have effect. So, this is that faithless namabhasa, wherein the person has no faith at all. I mean, he has no sambandha gnana, he doesn't know anything about, he's not even thinking about Krishna, who am I, what is my relationship with him and all that, but he simply takes nama without necessarily any faith, but without offense, without aparadha. So, so that gives him liberation. Sanketyam means chanting while referring to someone like a son. The suffix ya added to Sanketa has the meaning relating to convention. Okay. Parihasyam means calling jokingly, but with affection, not with criticism. So Parihasyam means jokingly, but with affection, not with criticism. Oh, famous one, your fame is like that of Krishna, since you can save me. Example. Stobam means to chant the name in order to provide proper meter during a discourse or song. Helanam means that the name of the Lord is uttered with disregard, without attention. Others cannot utter the name with effort as much as these persons who utter the name of Krishna without effort while eating, playing, or sleeping. This chanting is also without criticism or disrespect. Okay, slight disrespect is there. Criticism and disrespect such as Vena saying, what is the use of Vishnu, is filled with fault. Asheshagha Haram means that not only all sins but all desires are destroyed by chanting. And so sins as well as sinful desires are destroyed by this type of chanting. And this gives one liberation. Patitah Khalito Bhagnaha Sandashtas tapta ahataha harir ityavashenaha pumanarhati yatanaha. If one chants the holy name of Hari and then dies because of an accidental misfortune, such as falling from the top of a house, slipping and suffering broken bones while traveling on the road, being bitten by a serpent, being afflicted with pain and high fever, or being injured by a weapon, one is immediately absolved from having to enter hellish life even though he is sinful. So again, just one chance without offense. Bhagavad Gita says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti konteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. If one practices chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, he is naturally expected to chant Hare Krishna when he meets with some accident. Even without such practice, however, if one somehow or other chants the holy name of the Lord, when he meets with an accident and dies, he will be saved from hellish life after death. So somehow, but yeah, better we practice. Like I've been saying, I have a headache. Instead of saying Amma, Pa, Ma, Ba, whatever, right? Just take the name of Krishna. Okay, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Besides the above mentioned four types of chanting, there is a fifth chanting in conditions beyond one's control with different varieties. Chanting while falling from a building, stumbling on the road, breaking one's limbs, being bitten by a snake, being tormented by fever, or being attacked with sticks. A person who is not a karmi, gnani, etc. will still be free from hell. So somebody takes the name, will be free from hell. Gurunam cha laghunam cha guruni cha laghuni cha prayashchittani papanam natvoktani maharshibhihi. Authorities who are learned scholars and sages have clearly ascertained that one should atone for the heaviest sins by undergoing a heavy process of atonement, and one should atone for lighter sins by undergoing lighter attainment. Chanting Hare Krishna mantra, however, vanquishes all effects of sinful activities, regardless of whether heavy or light. In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes an incident that took place when Samba was rescued from the punishment of the Kauravas. Samba fell in love with the daughter of Duryodhana, and since according to Kshatriya custom one is not offered a Kshatriya's daughter unless he displays his chivalrous valor, Samba abducted her. Consequently, Samba was arrested by the Kauravas. Later, when Lord Balarama came to rescue him, there was an argument about Samba's release. Since the argument was not settled, Balarama showed his power in such a way that all of Hastinapura trembled and would have been vanquished as if by a great earthquake. Then the matter was settled, and Samba married Duryodhana's daughter. The purport is that one should take shelter of Krishna Balaram, Supreme Person of Godhead, whose protective power is so great that it cannot be equaled in the material world. However powerful the reactions of one's sins, they will immediately be vanquished if one chants the name of Hari. Okay, so basically we have to just chant the name of Hari. We don't have to do any atonement, etc. Auto atonement if one is chanting Hare Krishna. But like we discussed, uh, we should not commit sins on the strength of the holy name, and we should keep away from Vaishnava Aparadha. So if we are able to do these two things, of course, the other, not accepting the glories of the holy name, giving some mundane interpretation to the holy name, thinking that the holy name is some karma kanda. This will prevent us from even being a Vaishnava. We cannot even be called a Vaishnava if we have these three, if we are doing these three offenses. Interpreting the holy name, not accepting the glories of holy name, and thinking that chanting Hare Krishna is some karma kanda, punya. If these three we do, then we are not even considered a Vaishnava. And then out of 10, 3 are these. Then 2 more is Vaishnava Aparadha and sinning on the strength of the holy name. If we do these two, we have to suffer. Then the remaining 5 will just go away with ongoing chanting, and of course, then there is some remedial measures for each of those offenses. Mm. So then they will go away. They don't have to go through suffering. But these two, Vaishnava Prada and Namno Baladhyasya Papu, the sin, doing sins on the strength of the holy name. For that, one has to suffer and continuously chant and beg for forgiveness if we know to whom we have committed offense, etc. Right? But one will, and of course, then lower sins and all will go off. In front of offenses, sins are nothing. So those sins, once sins are all gone, for somebody who's chanting Hare Krishna, all of once offenses are all gone, sins will also get destroyed. Okay, so the main process is to chant Hare Krishna. Mm, now some devotees think that if they hear about Krishna, that's enough. Chanting is not required. No, uh, hearing has to bring one to the stage of chanting, and chanting should be done in the morning hours. These things should be in the effect of uh, proper hearing, proper shravanam. Um, right. So the most important activity for us in devotional life, especially in this yuga, is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we have to remember this. If you have any question, what to prioritize, you have to prioritize chanting. Simple. No need to ask, no need to think. Top priority is chanting. Hmm. Okay. तैस्तान्यघानि पूयन्ते तपोदानव्रतादिभिः नाधर्मजं हृदयं तद् अपि सांघ्रिसेवया. Although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. So this is also true that when we do, this is prayaschitta, through austerity, charity, vows, etc. So we can get rid of, neutralize the reactions of sinful life. But these cannot uproot the material desires. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti Pareshanubhavo Viraktir cha. Devotional service is so powerful that one who performs devotional service is immediately freed from all sinful desires. Hmm. That means that if we still have sinful desires, then we are not doing devotional service properly. Hmm. All desires within this material world are sinful because material desire means sense gratification, which always involves action and is more or less sinful. That is more or less sinful. Pure bhakti, however, is anyavilashita shunya. In other words, it is free from material desires, which result from karma and jnana. One who is situated in devotional service no longer has material desires, and therefore he is beyond sinful life. Material desire should be completely stopped. Otherwise, although one's austerities, penances, charity may free one from sin for the time being, one's desires will reappear because his heart is impure. Thus, he will act sinfully and suffer. So, this is very, very important. Our heart, we have to know. Nobody needs to tell us. We know what is the situation of our heart. Hmm. Our heart has to be pure. Pure means that there should never be anything, any bad feelings, any bad thoughts, any bad intentions about anybody. That is heart is pure. But it's very, very difficult. It's very difficult. Unless we feel ourselves worthless, we will never be able to respect everybody in all circumstances. So we'll end up doing some aparada, doing some jiva aparada, hurting somebody, or thinking I'm great, so I should enjoy. So like this, so the reason for all that is heart is impure. So we have to purify the heart. Actually, our whole reason for anything and everything that we do is simply purification. There is no other reason. There is no other reason. Many times I see devotees smiling outside, but I can make out that they have like bad intentions in their heart, or they're not, like they're not they're just externally smiling. This is cheating ourselves. We are not cheating anybody else. We are simply cheating ourselves by doing this. It's better to be a transparent mirror. At least people will know who we are, and we will also know who we are, right? Otherwise, we'll also get confused. Internally, inside, I'm something else. Outside, I'm being something else. Mm. So, no need to simply artificially smile. Genuinely, we should smile. Yes, it is. We should genuinely feel, that everybody, we should genuinely respect people. We should genuinely feel happy for others. We should genuinely feel their distress. Mm. Vaishnava is para dukkha dukhi. Right? So when he sees the dukkha of others, he feels himself distressed. But this is genuine. And it's very, very difficult for us to be genuine because for lifetimes we have just been cheating. We've been cheating ourselves, we've been cheating others. So it's better if we are straightforward and people also know who we are and we also know who we are. So that we are not in some illusion. Actually, it said, like I've heard from many senior devotees, that most of the times we think that we are more spiritually advanced than we actually are. That is perception, wrong perception about ourselves. So like this, actually people have very wrong perceptions about themselves. Why we have wrong perceptions about ourselves? Because we never put ourselves in other person's shoes. We are very, very self-centered, so we don't even think, okay, I said something like this, what would that other person have felt? We never put ourselves in the other person's shoes. But we have to understand, we have to somehow understand how impure our heart is. And that is the reason why Shravanam is important. Otherwise, we will be in some, sitting on some cloud, thinking that, I am the best human being around. And I was thinking like this till I came into Krishna consciousness. I was thinking, oh, I'm such a pious person. And then I realized, saying that, oh my God, I mean, I'm far from being pious. Because the understanding of piety and impiety was only not clear. Anyway, the important thing is that Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, everything a devotee does is just for purification. Because only when heart becomes pure, that means we come to Sattva Guna, when we can chant nicely, we can hear nicely, we can focus on devotional activities, we can make progress, we can go back to Krishna. As long as the heart is impure, we are conditioned. So if we do all these austerities, penances, charity, etc., we might become free from the sin, meaning the suffering. But the heart is still impure, so the desires will reappear and then again we'll act sinfully and we'll have to suffer. That is why this prayaschitta is not useful. It's not fully useful. Actually, it's not really useful. It's just temporary cessation of suffering. That's all. So we should not worry about getting into any of that. We should simply honestly chant Hare Krishna. For which we have to have faith in Krishna's holy name. Mm. Of course, we should also be chanting nicely. Suppose some devotee is having some major suffering. If it is just a result of his past sins, if he sincerely just chants, it will go away. But if you are not chanting properly, if you are also making offenses, then some prayaschitta will help, so that some suffering might temporarily cease. Then that might give us some breathing space to focus on our devotional activities, etc. So that's okay, but that's not the top platform. Top platform is just to simply depend on name, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it depends on where we stand. If going and consulting an astrologer, getting prayaschitta is our state, then yeah, what else can do? But Prabhupada clearly said that this astrology and all is not for devotees. Meaning surrendered devotees, they don't go to astrologer for finding why they are suffering or how they can get out of it. Pure devotees will think, okay, this is because I have done something wrong in the past and let me suffer. And then I will get rid of that. Then that suffering will be over. That means my sinful reactions are over. So I suffered for something wrong that I had done. Mm. Devotee should not get sentimental when there is suffering. Should just understand saying it is Krishna's mercy and try to learn whatever we need to learn and move on. Right? And sometimes we can't do anything. Just okay. It's just we have to just anyway tolerate it. Uh, So for those devotees who are very worked up about their suffering, please read this purport to this verse, Tattenu Kampamsu Samikshamano, 10 Canto 14 chapter 8 verse. So we'll understand actually what should be the mood in which we have to go through our suffering. Simply summarize, devotee feels that dukkha is kripa, that if there is suffering, that is the mercy of the Lord. That's all. Simple. End of story. Uh, अज्ञानादथवा ज्ञानात् उत्तमश्लोकनाम यत् सङ्कीर्तितम् अघं पुंसो दहेद् एधो यथा नलः. As the fire burns dry grass to ashes, so the holy name of the Lord, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, burns to ashes without fail all the reactions of one's sinful activities. But again, without offenses. This is important. Fire will act regardless of whether handled by an innocent child or by someone well aware of its power. For example, if a field of straw or dry grass is set afire, either by an elderly man who knows the power of fire or by a child who does not, the grass will be burned to ashes. Similarly, one may or may not know the power of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, but if one chants the holy name, he will become free from all sinful reactions. यथा गदं वीर्यत्तमम् उपयुक्तं यदृच्छया जानतो हि आत्मगुणं कुर्यान् मन्त्रोऽपि उदाहृतः. If a person unaware of the effective potency of a certain medicine takes that medicine or is forced to take it, it will act even without his knowledge because its potency does not depend on the patient's understanding. Similarly, even though one does not know the value of chanting the holy name, if one chants knowingly or unknowingly, chanting will be very effective. In the Western countries where the Hare Krishna movement is spreading, learned scholars and other thoughtful men are realizing its effectiveness. For example, Dr. J. Stilson Jura, a learned scholar, has been very much attracted to this movement because he has actually seen that it is turning hippies addicted to drugs into pure Vaishnavas who voluntarily become servants of Krishna and humanity. Even a few years ago, such hippies did not know the Hare Krishna mantra, but now they are chanting it and becoming pure Vaishnavas. Thus, they are becoming free from all sinful activities. This is practical proof of the effectiveness of the Hare Krishna movement, which is supported in this verse. One may or may not know the value of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, but if somehow or other chants it, he will immediately be purified, just as one who takes a potent medicine will feel its effects, regardless of whether he takes it knowingly or unknowingly. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Not only does the name destroy sin, but it bestows prema for the Lord. Um, no, okay. Shishukuvacha. Te evam suvinirniya Dharmam Bhagavatam Nripa Tam Yamya Pashan Nirmuchya Vipram Mrityor Amumuchan. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, my dear king, having thus perfectly judged the principles of devotional service with reasoning and arguments, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu released the Brahmana Ajamila from the bondage of the Yamadutas and saved him from imminent death. Iti pratyudita yamya duta yatva yamantikam yamaragne yatha sarvam achachakshur narindama. My dear Maharaj Parikshit, O subduer of all enemies, after the servants of Yamaraj had been answered by the order carriers of Lord Vishnu, they went to Yamaraja and explained to him everything that had happened. The word pratyuditaha is very significant. The servants of Yamaraj are so powerful that they can never be hindered anywhere. But this time they were baffled and disappointed in their attempt to take away a man they considered sinful. Therefore, they immediately returned to Yamaraja and described to him everything that had happened. Dvijapashad vinirmukto gatabhi prakritim gataha vavande shirasa vishnoho kinkaran darshanotsabaha. Having been released from the nooses of Yamaraja's servants, the Brahmana Ajamila, now free from fear, came to his senses and immediately offered obeisances to the Vishnu Dutas by bowing his head at their lotus feet. He was extremely pleased by their presence, Darshana Utsavaha, festival of Darshana, for he had seen them save his life from the hands of the servants of Yamaraj. Vaishnavas are also Vishnu Dutas because they carry out the orders of Krishna. Lord Krishna is very eager for all the conditioned souls rotting in this material world to surrender to him and be saved from material pangs in this life and punishment in hellish conditions after death. Now, Vaishnava therefore tries to bring conditioned souls to their senses. Those who are fortunate like Ajamila are saved by the Vishnu Dutas or Vaishnavas and thus they return back home, back to Godhead. See, the important thing is actually bringing conditioned souls to their senses, meaning waking them up. So we have to first be awake to be able to wake somebody else up. And so we have to follow the process strictly so that we awaken from our sleeping state. And very importantly, we have to give this message to others so that we should wake them up also. We are not expected to remain self-centered. We are expected to serve humanity, serve the other jivas by giving them Krishna consciousness. And waking actually means giving them the truth. Just think about this, right? Sometimes, so for generally people who are not sattvic, meaning they've not had done sukruti in their past, so they're not very interested in Krishna consciousness, but they're like, okay, somewhat they're not atheists, they believe that there's a supreme power, etc., but don't have any clear understanding. And by themselves, they will not come to Krishna. Now, if you go and talk to these people when everything is going fine for them, when their life is, comfortable, happy, and say do Krishna Bhakti, they will think, it's not required now. Right? Then if they're in distress, we go and speak, then people will say you are insensitive. So when are we going to wake up these souls? In the name of being, morally right or, socially acceptable behavior, etc. I mean, if you keep waiting for all these things, they'll just go to hell. That's all. So the other day, somebody was asking me, saying that, that plane crash and families were in so much distress. Somebody was asking, what should we say? I said, see, this is the only opportunity when they will hear something that we have to say about Tattva. Of course, we can, show our compassion to them. We can show our empathy, whatever, right? Okay, that's all fine. But important thing is they are, why are they suffering so much because of that incident? Because they are in ignorance. They are sleeping. We have to wake them up. If we don't take any opportunity to wake them up, then we are not doing our service to Krishna. Krishna wants conditioned souls rotting in this material world to be saved. And they're rotting in the material world. We are so fortunate we have come in touch with Krishna. But there are so many jivas out there who are just rotting. And if devotees start thinking, oh, this person will feel bad, then what is it? Are we on the spiritual platform or are we on the material platform? Yeah, we should not be insensitive, but that doesn't mean that we should not give the truth, help them. Actually, sometimes people even become atheists, when they experience some such really shocking things in their life without actually understanding the clear basis for what is happening. They just think, okay, God, yes, I used to believe in God, now I'll stop believing in God because he is just, he's a rock. He let this happen to my family like this. So we have to give them understanding, otherwise they're going to become atheists. And so always remember, we have to save the conditioned souls rotting in this material world. We cannot forget this. This is our prime duty. And then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, anybody who can do this, help others, he becomes very dear to Krishna. A very simple formula to become dear to Krishna. Just preach to conditioned souls. Somehow give them a book. So we are thinking Rath Yatra is coming up. So many devotees give some donation. Give one small book free. It's okay. It's not business. They gave something to Krishna. We'll give them the best gift. Even if somebody gives 10 rupees, give them a 15 rupees book. What does it? How does it matter? Is it like we are not in some profit making business, right? We are in mercy distribution business. So good. They gave some money to Krishna. Let them get supremely benefited by that. So we'll give them a book, even if it means putting 5 rupees, 10 rupees from our pocket. It doesn't matter because with good intention, they've given some money to Jagannath. So let them get supremely benefited. So we should keep thinking about ways and means by which, we should take Prabhupada's books to each and every home. This should be our goal. Saying at least one book has to enter every house because then they can't escape. Today or tomorrow, this life or next life, sometime, not even next life. Actually, Prabhupada books are supremely powerful. They're time bombs, right? So just set the bomb ticking for a few days, few months, few hours, and then give the book. Pray to Krishna, saying, Krishna, let the time bomb, let it explode. Let this soul be benefited, and give the book. So somehow we have to figure out some way by which we can help people. Uh, 1 second, Vani Mataji, let me just finish maybe this chapter. No, no, okay, still a lot of this. Okay, so then 22. Okay, we'll one or two more verses, then we'll take. Okay, what was your question, Mataji?
Like,
Yeah.
I just wish to know, like, any particular book you refer for that.
For what?
It will be like for the example you have mentioned, right? Like the plane crash or something. The people will think, why to me? The God is not there. Like that, they think at that moment. So just for them to help, which book you prefer for Prabhupada's book to
Which book you
give
can
them?
give? You can give all actually. I mean, simple one would be Perfect Question, Perfect Answers, or Beyond Birth and Death, or even Introduction to Krishna Consciousness. Many books are there. All small books, somehow or the other, will help them connect. Small books will help them connect. Mm,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Some of these, yeah, beyond birth and death, definitely. Uh, other devotees, do you think any specific book would be more beneficial?
Maxwell's gift.
Matchless gift, yeah,
Laws,
matchless gift. Yeah,
laws of nature.
laws of nature is too heavy. Uh, yeah, laws of nature also, if somebody is willing to read, but shouldn't give also too much that will, it shouldn't cause indigestion. So, yeah, laws of nature is also okay. Matchless gift. Beyond
So
birth
I
and
heard from a lot of devotees the science of self-realization, but I don't know if it is a small book.
no, 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 it's not a small book. It's a medium-sized book, but it's not for, yeah, I mean, actually, any of Prabhupada's books will work, but small books, see, the whole idea is that they should be able to consume something, to understand saying that, okay, there's something out there which they didn't know, and slowly they should become inquisitive, right? So some of these two, three books we can give.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank
Yeah. तं विवक्षुम् अभिप्रेत्य महापुरुषकिङ्कराः सहसा पश्यतस्तस्या तत्रान्तर्धा तत्रान्तर्दधिरे दधिरे नगा. O sinless Maharaj Parikshit, the order carriers of the Supreme Person of Godhead, the Vishnu Dutas, saw that Ajamila was attempting to say something, and thus they suddenly disappeared from his presence. The Shastra says, Papishta ye durachara deva brahmana nindakaha apatya bhojanastesham akale maranam dhruvam. For persons who are papishta, very sinful, and durachara, misbehaved, or very unclean in their habits, who are against the existence of God, who disrespect Vaishnavas and Brahmanas, and who eat anything and everything. Untimely death is sure for such people. Apatya, bhojanas tesham, akale. Not that proper time, untimely death. It is said in Kali Yuga, one has a maximum lifetime of 100 years, but as people become degraded, the duration of their life decreases. Because Ajamila was now free from all sinful reactions, his lifetime was extended, even though he was to have died immediately. When the Vishnu Dutas saw Ajamila trying to say something to them, they disappeared to give him a chance to glorify the Supreme Lord. They didn't want them to be glorified. They disappeared to give him a chance to glorify the Supreme Lord. Since all his sinful reactions had been vanquished, he was now prepared to glorify the Lord. Esham tvantagapam gatam papam. Indeed, one cannot glorify the Lord unless one is completely free from all sinful activities. Meaning one cannot properly glorify the Lord. This is confirmed by Krishna himself. Esham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridaprataha. So this is very important. Dvandva moham nirmukta. Persons who acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, and who are freed from the reality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. So, if suppose somebody is not able to engage themselves in bhakti with determination, it could be that their sinful life has not stopped, or they have not been freed from the duality of delusion. And the reason is that their lives are not so pious. So Prabhupada is saying all vanquished, he was now prepared to glorify the Lord. Um, it's not that we will not engage in service. We will engage in some service, but we won't have determination. We won't have purity of our existence. So somewhat this is, see, whenever we talk about engage in service means pure devotional service. We should understand. That is the Brahmabhuta platform. Brahmabhuta prasannatmana sochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. So the devotional service, whenever I've told this before, whenever there is mention of devotional service, it means pure devotional service, not what we are doing. So this devotional service will come only when we stop sinful life. We become free from duality of delusion, meaning raise above happiness, distress of this material world. And it is all possible simply by the power of bhakti, as we are seeing. The most sinful person has been saved. This can be headlines. Tomorrow's newspaper. The most skillful person saved. The Vishnu Dutas made Ajamila aware of devotional service so that he might immediately become fit to return home back to Godhead. To increase his eagerness to glorify the Lord, they disappeared so that he would feel separation in their absence. In the mode of separation, glorification of the Lord is very intense. Very nice. We have not reached that stage of separation from anybody yet, but yeah, these are nice. Yeah, nice to, we should desire to come to this stage where we feel separation from the Lord, separation from the Lord's devotees, not on the material platform. We are also confused. How do you feel separation on the spiritual platform? Separation on the spiritual platform is separation because we are not able to serve the devotee, we are not able to hear from the devotee, we are not able to glorify the devotee, we are not able to associate with the devotee. That is that separation. No, not like, oh, it was so nice, he was there. And why it was so nice? All mundane reasons. You talk to me very nicely. These kind of things are just sentimental. So real association means really getting spiritually uplifted, benefited by that association. Such association we should feel separation from. If you don't have such a separation, such association, then we should beg for the mercy of the Lord so that we can somehow get that kind of association. And then when we miss that association, then we will really feel bad. Okay, I'll stop here. Is there any comment from Shona Chakal? Though Ajamila had some remaining time left, because of sins, his lifespan was reduced according to scriptural laws. Oh, okay, this is interesting. Ajamila had some remaining time left. Because of sins, his lifespan was reduced. Knowing this, the servants of Yama began pulling him from his body. This time was designated as his time of death, but actually, because of the destruction of his sins, his life did not end at that time. Thus, the Vishnu Dutas disappeared since he had remaining time left. Okay, this is very interesting. I didn't know this. So, we have some from Ayu, some lifespan, but because of sins, that lifespan gets reduced. And if we get over the sin, then the lifespan will again get reinstated. And we might even live beyond. That is the will of the Lord. If at all we have some serious business to do here. So his life did not end at that time. Okay, nice. See, both acharyas, they give such very different moods. One is talking about saying how technically he had more time left. And so the servants disappeared. And here Prabhupada is saying to increase his eagerness to glorify the Lord. Separation. So they disappeared. Okay, both of them are amazing insights. Okay, so we'll stop here. If there's any questions? Maybe, tomorrow we should, because then I'm not there for a week. So tomorrow we will try to finish this chapter. Anyway, it's all just not only storyline, so we will finish it tomorrow. Krishna will. Okay, we'll close here. Any questions?
So all other sayings with what I hear, like Papi Chirayu, these are all interpreted, no, Prabhu. Like from the verses, we are like the lifespan is decreased because of his sinful activities.
Yeah.
So they're all interpreted, Papi Chirayu and all.
What is Papi Chirayu?
People who led sinful life, they stay long.
No, can't be. It's the opposite.
Yeah, just got
Totally
not
the
ready.
opposite. Okay. Anything else? Okay. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय समवेत गौर भक्त की जय हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.